Dr. Paul here. I'm here in the high desert in Utah. I'm on an adventure of sorts, trying to put into perspective my career, my journey of life up to this point, and help put it in a way that I can help others understand what I feel is important right now. We're in a very interesting time in our world. I'm going to share a story. This is from Matthew 4, and it's the story of Jesus being tempted. This is I take a lot of my inspiration from Adisanti, his book on resurrecting Jesus. So he gets a lot of the credit for helping me put my career and my situation into perspective. But the story goes like this. So has spent 40 days in the wilderness. He's hungry, and his first temptation was turn this stone into bread and you can eat. You're hungry. Now, this temptation is so similar to our temptation today in the world today to take care of ourselves, right? Take care of my needs against those of someone else. In my career, a life-changing moment or sequence of events was back in 2005, 6, 7. Actually, 2004, 5, 6, 7. Each of those years, I had a child in my practice. I'm a very busy pediatrician, have been for 30 years. But at that time, I had a child in my practice who was normal at 1, making eye contact, starting to speak, regress into severe autism by age 2. Some of you have heard this story, maybe you've read it in my book. Well, this happened again the following year. The first time this happened, I know it's a coincidence. I had never had a patient become autistic, so I didn't know that much about it, certainly as to what it is, the whys of, and all of that. Well, it happens again. 2 coincidences? I suppose it's possible. Then again, and then finally that fourth time was, okay, I get it. I'm supposed to pay attention to this. This is not a coincidence, right? Now I'm faced at that point with this same temptation to turn that stone into bread, right? I am making bread in my pediatric practice, and to now pay attention to this overwhelming crisis of a child becoming autistic and what caused it appears to be something we're doing. Oh my word, I could lose my career, right? This is not a popular thing to be doing. So that first temptation we have, seriously, it's about self-preservation over the truth. And we have to pick the truth, folks. When faced with such temptations, we need to be in solidarity. We need to be in unity. We are all united by the truth. And so that is a pretty clear explanation of, some people will ask, well, aren't you afraid? We have to pick truth over fear. Now, the second temptation, so Jesus is led up to the top of the temple and he's told, just jump down and the angels will catch you, right? I never did quite understand that one. This was tempting God. And he simply said, that's actually what were his words, thou shalt not tempt the Lord. I should have been able to remember that. I grew up in the church. Crazy. Anyway, this one has more to do with, we don't have to prove what we know. And I've struggled with that one because so often, I know what I know, and so many don't seem to get it or understand it or want to know it. And that's the bottom line. You stand with your truth when you know it's the truth. You have no choice when you know it's your truth. And people deep down will eventually understand the truth, right? Now, the third temptation, this is where they took Jesus up to the mountain and they showed him, look at the beauty as an example of this earth, right? And you can see the entire earth around you. All of this can be yours if you will just bow down and worship me. This, folks, is what most of us face in our temptation to have power, our temptation to have influence or to have money. Sometimes to follow the truth and be true to yourself and what you know to be true, you have to give up some money or some power or some influence. And here we are united by that inner truth and that inner knowingness. Now, I feel as I sort of think this all through that COVID-19 has come to our world for this very reason. It is time for us to wake up to the truth. And what that may be, I'm not going to tell you and each person what that truth is for you, but I know that there's no other reason that 7 billion people on this earth, who are all united in spirit, we are all united by truth, and yet we all have our individual lives and our individual choice and our individual decisions to make. Could it be that this third and huge temptation for power, influence, and money has caused those who have the ability to sort of direct the data, direct what you learn, what you hear on the news? Has it ever occurred to you that we keep hearing the exact same words on every single channel? Every single reporter says the same couple words lately. We're going to follow the science. We're going to follow the data. Well, I'm here to tell you, from everything I've learned, there is so much conflicting data about just about everything, because science, the scientific principles when applied to a problem, will give you the answer based on the questions you're asking. And unfortunately, we've been asking the wrong questions. Folks, you are blessed with a powerful immune system that helps us fight off thousands, if not tens of thousands of potential infections every day. Our body is inhabited by tens of thousands of microorganisms, viruses, and bacteria that we live in harmony with. COVID, the SARS-CoV-2 virus, is just a new version of something our bodies already know. We will develop natural immunity to this, and we will be fine. I want you to rest in peace knowing this, and I want you to go into this near future where clearly they're rolling out vaccines as the solution. Well, give that some real pause and some real thought and watch what they are doing. Because if you're going to roll out an actual safe vaccine, it needs to be tested against saline placebo. And if you're going to roll out a vaccine that's actually going to help humanity, it needs to be tested against placebo for a very long time, looking at all health outcomes. That means overall, how are we doing? Because what may happen, folks, is that those unfortunates who get this vaccine or certain versions of the vaccine, because multiple companies are in for this gold rush, what may happen is immense damage, either to the immune system or actual death upon reinfection, as has happened with certain animal trials in previous attempts to make a vaccine against a virus like this. So just have your eyes wide open and know that there is an inner truth that you can seek, that you can tap into. You are fine, you are whole, you are wonderful, and you are enough. I'm Dr. Paul. If you got to the end of this message, God bless you. I hope it will be helpful to you in your journey, and I will see you again soon.